Welcome to a very special episode of Inside the Game. Big shout out and a thanks goes to our sponsor at HyperX for hooking us up with some of their great gear to give away throughout this episode. All you have to do is stick around, that way you can find out how to enter and have your chance to win their amazing PC gear. Thanks to our friends at HyperX, we're all gamers. We're also giving away codes this week as well, thanks to our friends at Xbox, Google Stadia, and of course, Ubisoft. So make sure there's lots to give away and win, so don't go nowhere. This week is a milestone. It's an actual incredible milestone, as the crew and we've hit our 100th episode this week. Special moment for all of us, and well, that's what we're doing this week, is we're taking a look back at our last 2 seasons. Highs, the lows, and of course, so many laughs. It's been a blast, and we couldn't have done it without all of you. So a big thanks to all of you from our friends, family, fans, and anyone who has been a part of our show. Thank you very much. Now, here it is, episode 100. Well, guys, we've done a lot, and I mean a lot of recording and just events and so much over the last 2 seasons of Inside the Game. A big shout out to everybody who's been a part of our show. This is episode 100, and we're looking back at the last 2 years. Like, it's been a roller coaster of events, I would say. Corey, why don't you kick this one off, buddy?
Well, man, let me tell you, this 2 years has flown by. As long as some of those recording nights felt, and you know how these editing nights on weekends sometimes, like it's gone by quick. And to see kind of where we've started, you know, kind of where we were at, you had the halfway point a year ago, and where we're at now, it's kind of amazing to see the transition from, you know, kind of what your vision was when you asked all of us to be a part of this. And it's amazing, man. We've had so many great opportunities. We've met so many awesome people. You know, we've been to these great events. We've interviewed awesome developers. I mean, we're doing that all the time still. And the fact that we're at home doing this right now doesn't necessarily hinder us at all. I feel like, you know, we've just flourished during this time. You know, as unfortunate as it is for some, I think this has been really good for ITG. I think we've really grown here, and I think this platform that we've created for ourselves and this community that we've built over the last 2 years has been is just only getting better, and it's only getting bigger. So I'm excited, man. This has been an awesome 2 years.
Yeah, I'm with Corey on that one. I mean, first of all, again, thank you guys, and especially Drew, like, for bringing me on board. But I have to sort of say, it's like, to see something like when we go to the shows, like if it's like the EGLX, like Destiny Swords, and all these game developers showing off their games, and then I'm seeing in Twitter like it's coming on Steam. I feel so proud for them, like a dad and the kids. It's like
they did it.
Store them, you know, where they're showing off the game, and now they're on a console. I was like, I get so overwhelmed, and it's just like I'm so chuffed that I was there, and I feel like I was on part of the ride with them. Yeah, if you know what I mean.
For sure.
So that kind of thing, and like I said, I've learned so much, whether it's like the editing side of things, Photoshop, like helping build the show, you know, that kind of thing. I've learned so much, met some amazing people, you know, when we met the kind of funny guys.
All right, so I'm here with one of the coolest teams in video games. I'm talking to the Kind of Funny crew. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Should we harmonize?
We're great. Yeah, we're great.
So if you don't know, we got Greg, Nick, and Andy joining us today.
You know, it was, you know, when we sort of in their VIP lounge, it was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? It's like you said, this would be us one day, all the food platters, and it's just the whole thing. It's just like, it's just amazing buzz and feeling. And it, for me as well, like, used to be a game and then sort of come out of it for a long time, just to basic life, and then get back into it again. And it's just love seeing you guys and the passion, and, you know, watching your reviews and the interviews and everything, and just being part of you guys is amazing for me. And that's been my amazing 2 years, you know?
Oh yeah, man. And honestly, like, we couldn't do it without you, dude. Especially back in the day when we were all behind, one camera, and you were having to take care of our audio and all this stuff, man. Like, you've been a huge part, and for all of you guys too. We've all put so much time and effort into it, and kind of like Corey said, we've come so far. Starting off as this 200,000, roughly 200,000 people on Rogers TV local in our city, Barrie, to go to over 1 billion potential viewers. Like, it's pretty wild, and I'm just super excited to see what the future actually brings, especially after COVID, once we can actually hang out, and just be beside each other and do things kind of properly again.
Thanks to our sponsor HyperX, they've hooked us up with their Cloud Alpha headset. For your opportunity to win, all you have to do is hit us up on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you follow and leave a comment with the hashtag HyperX Cloud Alpha and hashtag ITG100. Restrictions are for North America, and we'll be announcing the winner on December 23rd. No, for sure. It's I always wanted to do this, and I needed to find the team that was able to do it with me, and it just worked. It's funny how it worked, right? It
is crazy how it worked. You should explain.
Okay, so basically a lot of us came from one place. We all worked somewhat together in a sense. Nate, myself, and Steve all worked for an electrical division, and then Corey would come in to actually buy parts for us. Nate leaves, Steve's there, and then I decided to go, you know what, I'm gonna start this TV show. Yo, you guys interested? They're like, cool, this sounds pretty cool. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go for dinner. Here's my game plan. 2 years later, we have talked to so many developers. We have had the pleasure of going to Ubisoft Montreal to talk with Adam Kleinman and Leroy and talk about Rainbow Six, one of our favorite games on the show that we play like religiously. Nate and I are like, almost every night still to this day playing, right? And then everybody just jumps in. Scott will be there, and then Corey jumps in, and Steve's there, whether he's shooting somebody in the back or not. Steve's still there.
I've got better. I've been improving on my game plans. Yeah.
Right? But it was just, I always wanted the ability to hang out with my friends and talk about video games, and that's what I've been able to create with you guys. So first of all, thanks to you guys. Now, we now have Scott, who has filled a void for us, and then we had Adam join just as of recently as well to expand our team, and it's only made us stronger and a better, I think, an overall show production-wise. And it's just everything seems to fall in place now, I think, is where it is. Because I remember being at about the 1 year mark and go, this is pretty cool. Man, I don't know. Like, everybody has their doubts as you kind of progress further along. But I think the overall thing was, when we get together, whether it's right now throughout the pandemic, we have laughs, or when we're in front of the green screen. Man, I was looking at some of our bloopers. Oh, boys, that was fun. Oh, man. I can't wait for that segment in this episode. It's hilarious. Yeah. So the amount of laughs we had and still do is why I wanted to do this, right? To get up every day and say, hey, I hang out with my friends and talk about games. So I'm honored to not only be in this industry, but to have you guys with me. So thank you.
Yeah, like I just recently got on with you guys, I think, 3 or 4 months now, and it's been awesome. I'm so glad you guys invited me to hang out and try this. Like, I always, like, me and Corey went to school together, and we loved editing and all that. And I went to school for marketing, and, lo and behold, I work in a manufacturing plant. So it gave me this cool outlet to kind of, use my diplomas and try to use some of my creativity and help you guys with a bit more structure, or, so you can kind of concentrate, because I got to see what you guys do each week now, and it's a crazy amount of work, right?
Yeah.
Off your plate, you can concentrate on just the games and just the reviews. Like, I'm happy to do it. I'm really thankful you guys let me join you guys. It's been fun.
I'm glad you did, Adam. Thanks.
Man.
Scott, you came in. Media. you came in as well. I think at a pivotal time for us. For those who didn't know, Scott actually had a bit of a leave of absence and is now back as well. Scott, if you want, it's up to you if you want to talk about that little incident. But dude, we're so glad to have you back. It's definitely been missed. I'm glad you're a part of the show as well.
Oh, I absolutely don't mind mentioning it. I came and joined you guys at a great time, and I really was welcomed to the team, and I felt like, you know, I had a place in this organization, and it's been a long, but at the same time, a fast-paced year. You know, I look back at the memories, and there's a lot of things that we've done, EGLX, and just all the different trips we've gone on, and there's been a slew of games, but the year has gone by really quickly because it's been a lot of fun, and everything for me has been super enjoyable. And I did unfortunately have to take a step away from the show for a little while due to an accident, but I'm glad to be back and in full capacity and ready to keep the slew of games going. It's been great.
No, it's great to have you back. Yeah, for sure. No.
Well, like Scott, man, you've always been the animal of games. I mean, we all love to play games, but as soon as Scott hops in, he's just like, yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. You know, when we're all this bogged down, it's like he'll just somehow take an extra 2 games or something. Yeah. And then put out a solid solo review. So, like, dude, honestly, props to you. And even the day you came back from, you know, the hospital, you started working, because I had to take a little tiny leave of absence because, you know, this whole year has been a wild year. But that'll just say, dude, just thank you again, because it's crazy, man. You're crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely funny to see Scott come back and go, I'll take this one, and this one. I'm like, dude, you just got back. Like, hold up a little bit.
How did he turn his computer on?
He turns it on, nothing works. He's like, yo, I got nothing working now.
I didn't play games for 2 months. All I had was Fortnite, so I was ready to just, you know, change that up for sure.
No, it's definitely exciting to do what we do. The video game industry is always such a fast-paced industry. There's always something new and exciting to talk about. I think that's one of the things that keeps us going. It's because we're never talking about the same thing twice, right? We're never bored when you talk about the world of video games. There's just somebody's moving around, or the new studio's coming in, or there's a new game to talk about, or even an old game that comes back, right? There's so much to cover all the time. And it is 24 hours isn't enough in one day, right? So we're
fortunate. How many times I post news up, I see something, it's like, oh, yeah. It's like, geez, 24 hours.
Yeah, no, the last 2 years have been an absolute roller coaster, and I can't wait for the next roller coaster. We're only getting started. 100 episodes in, that's nothing for what we got coming. Here's a chance for you to win Immortals Phoenix Rising over on Google Stadia. Thanks to our friends at Stadia for hooking us up with this code. It's quite simple. All you have to do to enter is hit us up on Twitter or Instagram, leave a comment and a follow with 2 more hashtags as well. Hashtag ITG100 and hashtag Google Stadia. We'll be announcing the winner on December 23rd, so stay tuned. Guys, we do a lot of trips for ITG, and there's always one that pops up every year for us, and it's in the neighborhood. We're talking about EGLX. The very first one we went to was actually on a Sunday. We were able to get in there, and it was myself, Nate, and then Steve was behind the camera like always, and he carried us through. Steve, do you remember the very first EGLX you went to?
Yes, I do. And I do remember the feeling and the atmosphere again. I know I keep saying it, but when you sort of have a community that is so into game, whether it's the cosplay, dressing up as a favourite character, or they just go in there for the thrill and the excitement and try new games and see new games coming out, it was basically electrifying. I found everyone was friendly. They were quite. I mean, I was walking around the camera like ducking and diving in between people because it was so busy. And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, we're filming a show." It's like, "Oh, come and look at our game. You know, check this one out." So I have to wait for you to finish playing a different game. Say, "Hey, come and check this stall out." And you know, and then next thing we know, we sort of have interviews, and then we met a great man called Ken Hall who showed us his game Destiny Swords, which we managed to invite us round to his studios.
Yeah.
And sort of give us behind the scenes. But the EGLX is amazing amount of people there, and I just loved it. The atmosphere, it was phenomenal.
Man, like it's the first year we went, you know, it was a fairly big event, right? Like there was a lot of people, and like you said, we got to meet some really cool devs. I actually think, I'm pretty sure it was the first time I tried VR. It was like Furious Seas, I believe. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Like that experience to be in VR, you know, that game was pretty cool for its beta form. But again, moving forward, man, like the scope of that one to moving into the second year, wow, it blew up even more, man. Like they had 2 floors just full of stuff, man, people, and then they had the Rainbow Six Siege event that was the Canadian National Finals. Like it was, for me, like, oh, it was just such a mind-blowing, exciting, you know, event.
No, for sure. The very first EGLX was very cool. We also met Jamhammer Games there and talked about their game Schwip, and then we've, you know, when you go to these events, you meet these guys and the crew and the team behind these games, and you start to build a relationship, right? So I still talk to Rob from Jamhammer Games on Twitter all the time about his game, and keeps me updated, you know, and then we share that. He's giving us codes to make sure that we can get into his game and then we can play that, because, you know, if you haven't played Schwip, like, shout out to Jamhammer. That game was a wicked game. We had a blast playing that game.
So much fun.
Man, it was so much fun. You remember that one, Corey?
Oh yeah, that one was a blast, man. Like you know, and like you said, we meet all these people at an event like EGLX, and we get to talk to them about their games, and these people are so passionate, just like we are about the games we play. These people are passionate about the games they make. And when you get them talking about something like that, it's easy to ask them questions, because it's just, the conversation is always rolling with these people, because they always just want to keep telling you more and more about their game. Like I remember I got to interview Jordan about Foregone, which is one of my personal favorite games. That game got me so excited to just kind of test play it. And then, you know, 6 months later, we get the codes for the game. You know, thank you from them for that. And I mean, that game is still one of my favorite games to jump in and still play. And it's just, I never would have probably even known about that game if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for that event. So, like Nate said, we kind of go up these escalators and we open up to this huge showroom floor with all these people, whether they're dressed in cosplay or, you know, they're there like us, they're part of the media, or they're just there as fans of video games. This was a huge event, and the fact that we got to experience that before, you know, the unfortunate times we're all in now where we can't, you know, hang out in person. Yeah, I think we're really lucky that we kind of got to, you know, go to this event, probably the last of its type, because I imagine it's going to be modified maybe moving forward here for the you know, the foreseeable future, which is understandable. But to be able to be a part of that experience, and, you know, like I'm trying to recall all of it, like Watchdog Legion. We got to go check that, like a sneak peek on that. Like that was awesome. I mean, I don't want to keep trailing on and on and on, but like it was a really good time, and like I had so much fun at that event.
Thanks to our sponsors this week at HyperX, we've got one heck of a package for you. Their Surge RGB gaming mouse and mechanical gaming keyboard packaged with a mouse pad. That's one heck of a deal if you want to get into gaming at high precision. All you have to do is hit us up on Twitter or Instagram, where there you need to follow, comment, and hashtag HyperX and hashtag ITG100. The restrictions are for North America, and we'll be announcing the winners on December 23rd. Good luck. I want to hit up Scott, because Scott joined us there not too long before his first EGLX, and then he gets there and we wandered around. We were there on Friday, Scott, myself, and I think it was just me and Scott, actually. It was just the two of us. We wandered around the show floor and stuff, and then from there we branched out into the weekend, and I tossed Scott into his very first interview. I remember him being pretty nervous.
Yeah, EGLX was a very exciting period of time for me because just going on these trips with you guys was always fun, and this is just a giant expo of like-minded people coming together to celebrate what they like in games, and it was just, to echo what Steve said, it was a very enticing atmosphere to be around. And then I got to do my own interview for the show, and the first I've ever conducted in that setting. And I felt a little rocky, but I feel like I made it through. I survived the experience, and the next one was a little bit better, and I think it just goes on better and better from there. It was a blast to be there, just to talk about new games with the people developing it was a really good opportunity for me.
No, for sure. EGLX is a cool place for us to get together and just, meet local people too, right? Like, we got to talk to the team over at Skyweaver when we were playing their mobile game. And Corey and I sat down to check it out, and I talked to Michael afterwards, and, we had a blast.
Yeah.
And you just, as I said, you start to grow these friendships from just the passion of the industry and what they're so excited about, and us being excited about covering what they're talking about, right? So definitely looking forward to seeing what EGLX brings next and see if we get into E3 or Gamescom, right? Because obviously with the pandemic, things have changed a lot. When are these events going to come back? Who knows? But I'm hoping that they do come back, because there's nothing like going to these events, going person to person and talking to someone face to face is just an experience I always look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another giveaway. We have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, thanks to our friends at Ubisoft. All you have to do to enter is head to our Twitter account or Instagram, make sure you follow, and leave a comment with the hashtag ACValhalla and hashtag ITG100. We'll be announcing the winner on December 23rd.
All right, guys, we have played a ton of games over the last 2 years. Like, I don't even know how many, like hundreds hundreds at this point. So we have to pick our top game, one game. I'll let you guys maybe do a little shout out to a second or third game. We need to pick just one game. And you know what, to start things off, I actually know my choice, because this was a milestone for me, guys. We got Doom Eternal. We got a code for Doom Eternal. Doom is like my game, and leading up to Doom Eternal,
you're Doom guy.
I'm Doom guy Parker 50. I can't escape it. And I played the first one. I beat it 5 times at least, and I've started it and played it multiple times as well. So getting Doom Eternal, man, wow, it was just. I gave it 10 out of 10, I'm pretty sure, which I don't think it really was a 10 out of 10. I was pretty hyped. But, I don't know. If I had to pick one, I guess it would be Doom Eternal. But, man, there have been so many games where we never would have seen them, but completely blindsided me. And, like, one of those was Genesis Alpha 1, this kind of simulator space game that I love that game. I still play it to this day.
Nice.
But I'm going to toss the horseshoe to Drew. So what do you think, man? What is your top game, dude, out of these last 2 years?
Well, like you say, we play so many games. It was really hard, right? Honestly, I was looking back at our reviews, and our opening for Mortal Kombat 11 was pretty funny, because you were so devastated that you were missing so many of your favorite characters. And I'm like, well, I got Scorpion. It was like, dude, I watched that today.
Ermac? What about Smoke?
I killed myself watching that back. It was so funny to watch. but I gotta give a shout out first. I gotta give a shout out to Lost Ember. That game was an absolute gem. What a beautiful story. It was so mesmerizing. The gameplay wasn't perfect, but the story was absolutely fantastic. I think that was one of the standouts for me. But one of my top games, honestly, has got to be The Last of Us Part 2.
Wow.
That was such a special review for me to embark on Ellie's journey and be a part of that experience, and then to wrap it up, like, that game is an absolute masterpiece.
Spoiler, I think it might be his game of the year.
Yeah, I felt very fortunate to be able to be a part of that review and get on that one, and you know, thanks to our friends over at PlayStation, and just what a job by Naughty Dog to have such a way to portray these characters and to introduce new characters. You're like, I don't know if I like this character, but at the same time, then by the end of the game, you fall in love with that character, right? Like, it's just, there's such a story to it, besides the fact of this kind of apocalypse going on. It was just, yeah, an experience like I've never had. It was definitely one of my favorites. There's so many more I could pick, though.
Yeah,
Corey, how about you, buddy? How about you?
Well, when we were talking about doing this discussion, I'm sure we all had the same problem, right? What game do you choose? We've played, like Nate said, we've played literally hundreds, and it was so tough to kind of narrow it down. But for me, it came down to my kind of attachment to the game, and it was because of, you know, the interview that maybe I did with the CEO of the company of the game, and that is Torchlight. So I originally reviewed Torchlight 2 on the Switch, and I had never played a game in the series before, and it just hooked me. It was a top-down hack and slash kind of RPG dungeon crawler, and it was just a blast. You could play solo, you could play with your friends. It was a good time. So when I got to talk to Max Schaefer about Torchlight 3, I mean, I was already juiced up from the first playthrough of Torchlight 2, so I was really excited to kind of, you know, learn about some things about the new game. So when I got to eventually review Torchlight 3, I mean, it was, you're just so much more involved in that game, right? I mean, there's a little more emotion there, you know, you just have a little more invested into it, and I can't say that I know it's 2 reviews, but it's the same game in the same series, so I'm just gonna say that the Torchlight series has definitely been the highlight for me when it's come to my kind of review career.
Well, man, I remember you talking about Torchlight 2 and being like, yo, this game is really cool, man. And like, honestly, ever since you've reviewed that game, you know, you kind of periodically just talk about, I'm playing some Torchlight, you know.
Yeah, never put it down, really, man. I never put it down.
That's cool. Yeah, Torchlight 3, make sure you just start in the multiplayer. Just saying.
Yeah.
How about you, Scott? What's your highlight there, buddy? Because you've been playing a ton.
Yeah, I have experienced a lot of games, and a lot of games from different genres that I wasn't normally really familiar with. But for me, it sticks out the very stylized worlds, or a really good storytelling experience. That's the kind of thing that keeps me fixated on the game. And I have to give a shout out. I have to tip the hat to Sekiro. Because that game is solid, from solid developers, and it's, you know, just an amazing time. It's punishing, though. And in favor of a kind of more streamlined story and heavy kind of, you know, action scenes and stuff of that caliber, I have to say that my favorite game has been Daymare 1998.
Wow.
That one is so stylized in the same way as Sekiro, but in, you know, different styles. And the way it tells the story, and the different hooks, and they pull your heartstrings at times. It's got a little bit of everything, and that game is something I still think about.
Wow.
Oh man, I remember reviewing that game with you, dude, and I was like, yo, this game was kind of like got this Resident Evil, Dead Space kind of feel, and then we're playing as this one character, and then like, boom, something crazy happens. I'm like, okay, and I don't know, that game was really cool, man. I really enjoyed that one too.
I like the fact that we review so many games, because it does kind of broaden our horizon and allows us to experience things we never probably would have played if we weren't in the industry, right? sometimes you gotta get streamlined and you go in one direction, but because ITG covers so much, we're able to experience so many different genres of games and things. You know, we have so many behind us, but we're only getting started. I can't wait to see what the next year brings for more games.
Honestly, man, I need to ask you, what is your favorite VR game? Because you know, VR is a completely different genre, and I gotta have to throw this one to you because you and Scott have played so much VR. So I'm gonna actually toss this to Drew first, but Scott, you're gonna have to finish this one.
So I played a ton of VR. Some not so good, some really good. Like Half-Life Alyx is. So I don't play horror games, and that game was incredible. Like, that was spooky, it was creepy, and then when you get into the world of VR, man, like, it really creeped me out. I wanted to play The Walking Dead Onslaught. I couldn't. I actually had to pass it off to Nate because it was just too creepy for me to play.
Oh, I'm on that one now.
So Nate's got it. I was really disappointed, but one that's actually standing out now that our friends over at Oculus hooked me up with an Oculus Quest 2. I've now been able to jump into Immortals, Vader Immortal. The Vader story is, man, the wield a lightsaber now in VR there's just nothing like it. But one I think really kind of hit back and forth was Scott and I did Stormland, and that game was cool, and it had co-op, and it was just a different experience. Scott and I have done a lot of games on VR. I remember, Scott, do you remember when we played ping pong? This is how I broke my other Oculus, actually. So, right in front of me, lo and behold, Scott pops the ball up, and I went to crush it, and instead I crushed my controller into the wall. I had to patch the wall. I was so mad, and that just ended my career as on the Oculus until I was able to get a new one. But yeah, there's so many cool games on VR, and it's just a different experience than sitting in front of a curved or a flat screen, right? But how about you, Scott? You got any highlights?
Well, actually, I really enjoyed Aspire 1. That was kind of marketed as a stealth kind of James Bond sort of shooter. And it was detailed enough with the weapons you're using, and the areas you're going through are pretty long actually and well thought out. So that game really kept my interest for quite a while. But I'm glad you mentioned it because I actually had forgotten the title. But Stormland, that was cool. Has to be the ultimate actually, because you have this robotic exosuit that you are piloting, kind of. It's the best way I can explain it. And you're subbing in and out different weapons, and you're upgrading your suit as you go, and you're flying from island to island. There was a lot of really enjoyable moments in that game.
No, for sure. That's what I said. We have so many reviews behind us, but so many more ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
You can win a copy of Watch Dogs Legion thanks to our friends over at Ubisoft. All you have to do to enter is head to our Twitter account or Instagram. Make sure you follow and leave a comment with the hashtag Watch Dogs Legion and hashtag ITG100. We'll be announcing the winner on December 23rd. Well, guys, it's definitely been an interesting year, and I think one of the highlights was our 24-hour live stream for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Definitely a unique 24 hours. It was 24 games in 24 hours. We were able to raise some money for a great cause, and it was definitely one heck of an experience. Some highs and lows. It was... What do you guys think? Adam, you were there. This is something actually we kind of tossed you in at last minute. So let's start with you.
Yeah, feet first. I had a blast. I was glad I got to be a part of it, and especially like for a good cause to raise. We raised $1,500, I believe it was. So that was pretty awesome. I mean, it was easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really prepare for it at all, but we kind of started with Overcooked 2. Yeah, we started with Overcooked 2, and we kind of like hit that momentum, and we're going pretty good. A couple games, maybe we changed, like Sea of Thieves, kind of felt a little slow to me. NBA felt a little slow to me. But besides that, yeah, I was cruising until me and Corey went and got some food, and then that break is really what killed me. What about you guys?
Well, man, I think you ended it off very well with Tony Hawk, I must say.
Oh,
and man, it was like that 4 o'clock time when Drew was really feeling it. And I think we all were, but it was just like, that drought of tiredness. But honestly, man, it was just really exciting to be able to give away some really cool prizes and honestly to be able to see you guys. It was so long.
Yeah.
Like, we always see each other in video chat, so there's that. But to actually see you guys since COVID, it was actually pretty cool, man. The whole experience was great.
The setup was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good idea.
The chicken.
Sure.
It was, yeah. Well, I was more interested trying to watch you guys because I was having a blast watching you guys. But then because I had my own chart and all my coloured lights, I goes, "Ooh, I've got to put the prize up next." So then it's like making sure I'm clicking this, make sure the audio's fine. But I mean, what a learning experience for me. Do you know what I mean? On that sort of more of a bigger scale. Do you know what I mean? Apart from just doing the editing and just when you were filming around Drew's house. Do you know what I mean? But like, it was a good experience for me. But watching you guys, it was so funny, and that kind of kept me going. It definitely a big buzz.
It was definitely a ton of fun, right? There's a lot of prep work that kind of went into it that I don't think I actually understood what was all involved. Setting up interviews. So we had an interview almost every hour or every other hour go live as well, right? And it's trying to coordinate that. And then it's trying to get prizes that we're able to give away. The fact that we were able to give away a VR headset thanks to our friends over at Valve, right, for the HTC, and then our friends over at Google hooked us up with a Google Stadia. So it's getting all the back work and the legwork done ahead of time. And then for Steve just to kind of step up and just let it roll. Man, it was smooth.
Basically, there you go, Steve.
Yeah, it was,
figure it out. I
Here's your
trust
crash
you.
course, and then get it done. And then I came in so we could set up for Last Oasis, and I blew the whole hour, man. It was such a disaster. but it was like we had a ton of fun. And then the developers we were able to talk to get on for the hour live stream too, or 24-hour live stream, was just incredible because you're meeting so many new people, and you're there for such a great cause, right? And it's just. The 24 hours went fast. I definitely hit a spell where I was not feeling so good. Yeah, when you're running on low energy and all you eat is junk food, that probably doesn't sit very well.
Yeah.
So next year I'll probably grab like an apple or something, I'm thinking. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys kind of carrying me through that. That was definitely an experience, right? And it was one that I think I'm looking forward to doing again this year. But there's changes too. Now that we've done it for the year. And we looking back at it, there's, you know what, like Adam made points of, NBA was a little slow. Your Sea of Thieves might have been a little too slow. Where when we started, right off the hop, like, we jumped right into Overcooked 2. There's so much energy that goes into that game.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was just a mess. But it set the tone, I think, for the stream to move forward. And it was just one game after another. And it was, that 24 hours came and went in like a blink of an eye. It was definitely really cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
And one thing I have to say too, like Adam, again, everything, lots of stuff happened very short notice, and you kind of stepped up. And honestly, just a big thank you to you, particularly
no
for
problem.
that.
It was a blast.
You know, Scott, man, you're gonna be there next year, bud. Oh, you'll be there.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, setting up the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
We've
excited.
learned.
I'm excited for this year, right? Now that we're bringing in some new partners and opportunities here, I think the stream is only going to grow. And I think our prizes this year are going to be something like that's what I said. Last year's prizes were so good. So how do you top it?
Yeah.
How do you top next year's? I'm curious to see. Yeah, I'm glad we set such a high bar.
5 VR headsets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one going that 24 hours, being behind the scenes, like Corey was saying. But you were although you're interested in the games, how did you find working all the systems behind it to kind of keep on top of? Oh, there's the hour.
It wasn't too bad. I think, like I said, because you actually did a schedule of the hour of what we were doing, so I just highlighted on the lines of if it was competition time, or if it's the next game, or if it's an interview.
Yeah.
Because I knew like later on in the evening or early hours in the morning, my eyes would be tired, and trying to read the text and everything. So I thought nice big bold colours will help me, if you know what I mean. But it's just making sure I sort of muted the gameplay once I went into the interviews or any VTs, so then it didn't sort of overlap, if you know what I mean. So, like I said, it's a big learning curve, and it'll be better next year. I'll have more ideas. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm always conscious. Yeah, and I'm always conscious of what I do as well, and I always try and do the best I can as well.
Oh,
and it
for
was
sure.
kind of thrown in at the deep end of like, there you go. I remember the mixer, but I don't remember the 2 keyboards and the 3 monitors and this and this. So, it's like clicking around. But yeah, I mean, it went well. I did start getting a bit tired early hours in the morning.
Sure.
But just go out, a bit of fresh air, come back in, and it was good.
That breakfast from Rogers was much appreciated, man.
Yeah.
All of it. There was so much coffee and just food. It was great.
Yeah, no, it was really nice of Hunter to swing by and hook us up with bagels and everything for the breakfast. It was really nice of her. I remember when we first started, we just got going with Overcooked. I think we might have been half hour in, and one of our producers, Kevin over at Rogers, said, "Drew, we got to do this again next year." I'm like, man, we just got started. So that was a pretty good feeling. I guess that we were onto something pretty cool here. And yeah, next year, definitely looking forward to it. And we'll be back again for sure with another live stream for 24 hours. You think we can do another 24 games?
Let's go 48, boys. No, I can't.
Game every half hour.
No.
Oh, man. Yeah, we'll see what the next 24-hour live stream brings us.
We've come a long way. We've learned a lot, I think, along the way to get to, episode 1 all the way up to 100. Well, we're going to take a look back here at maybe, I don't know if it's some of our finer work, but it's definitely, our roots. It's part of where we came from. You know what? So we're looking back at episode 30. Drew's got one queued up here, and we're going to take a look at it. And, we're going to see how much we've improved here, fellas.
Let's get going here. There he goes. Look at Corey!
That's the big man right there.
Oh, man.
Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
We covered Fortnite so hard. Like, it was such a thing back when we first started. It was just go, go, go. And it's definitely still around. But there's Scott. Scott just started in around then, too, right? So he actually got his bearings pretty quickly and was able to get going. It was funny. But it's just funny to look back. He's just...
Look at you. You look just a little boy.
Oh, man. The lav mics.
Oh, yeah.
We had to fight with those. Thanks to our sponsors this week, HyperX. they've hooked us up with an incredible microphone, the HyperX Quadcast. All you have to do to enter is hit us up on Twitter or Instagram, where there you need to follow, comment, and leave 2 hashtags. Hashtag HyperX Quadcast and hashtag ITG100. The restrictions are for North America, and we'll be announcing the winner on December 23rd.
A little less great.
What was your news article that week? Man, and to think, like where even our news segment, the Inside Scoops, come to, like Steve's done such a good job with that every week now. And, I mean, it's just, this is awesome. It's wild to look back and think, think about all the setup that took place to even just film that.
From going from the Rogers studio to my parents'
my God, the sweat lodge? I'll call it Rogers studio. Those lights were so hot.
yeah. We couldn't even get our work done because our foreheads were covered in sweat. It was so hot in that place, right?
Oh man.
It was definitely tough. It was an experience, that's for sure, to see where the news segment for us has gone now.
Oh.
Look at that beard on Nate.
Okay.
At least it's not it wasn't at his longest,
yeah, thankfully. But you wanna know what really kept me through all my reviews and news were some really wise words from a wise man named Corey Askew. And it was something like, because I don't know, I'm notorious for making mistakes during our reviews and stuff. So, I would get pretty frustrated. And Corey would always say, let your rage fuel your success. And then every time it was just this calming energy would come over me. And then I'd take a drink of water and I'd cruise through it.
I remember one time you were doing the news and then you just left and went, I need a drink. And you walked off.
I remember that.
And then you came back and crushed it. It was hilarious to see.
Hey, you gotta love that news article was Cyberpunk 2077, by the way. Very topical. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, the duos.
Hey, Scott.
Oh, man. It's so funny.
Is this Silver? Oh, the Sinking
City.
Sorry,
Sinking City.
It's definitely funny. You know what? Honestly, I miss the days where we were in front of the green screen. I know everything right now is just the way it is, but man, I do really, looking back, I miss those times a lot. I kind of thought maybe moving into this would make things a little bit easier, and to some extent for us it has.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just the laughter and the goofing around and then the experience within that we have when we're all together is just something unique and special. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, man. It's something about the energy that we all just kind of feed off of each other. Because man, there are so many days I'd be so tired after work, and then we'd drive through a partial snowstorm to Midland. It'd be like 7:30, but then as soon as we'd walk through the door, man, you just start talking to us, and it'd be like bang, 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 and it just the energy would be uplifted, and then I would completely forget about my day, and I would not be tired even. It was crazy, man. Sometimes we get home around midnight even after those long nights, but man, I do miss that honestly a lot, and I'm looking forward to it when we can, start back up again in a better studio.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I'm looking at this review, watching it, and it's just like you remember us just standing there, in front of the green screen, and we just discussed the game. We'd seen each other for the first time that week, just before this review, kind of talk about what we thought, on the car ride, up to Drew's place, and it's funny to think that, now that we're doing this all from home, the scheduling of it all is actually probably the best part of the pandemic for us. At least we meet up a little easier and stuff like that, opposed to when we used to do this and film an hour-long TV show in one night, and then either the night before or the night after, we're filming an hour-long podcast. So I mean, it was busy. We were real busy, but we managed to put a show out every week in, I'd say, less than perfect conditions. But, we had the right equipment, thanks to you, Drew. We had the space, again, thanks to you and your family. So the fact that we're even able to pull this off, like what we're watching, and then to think what we're doing now and who we brought on to help us, with Scott coming in, around this time. And now we've got Adam doing the social media. Steve stepped up huge now that we're into this pandemic, situation. So it's awesome to kind of see this and just know that, most of these nights was us filled with excitement about these games we either reviewed or the ones coming up. And just the fact that there was always kind of, something new. Like, look at this, my friend Pedro. Remember this game? Like, oh, what a game! Such a good game, right? Like, and it was fun to just sit on the couch and watch you guys do this review, and then see what the final edit looked like after it. You know what I mean? So it's really awesome to kind of look back and see all this, and it's hilarious to see how much we've grown from that time. So.
Black screen, I would have called you guys out on that. That was probably my fault right there too. So
How was your edit? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, probably was. Like, we've just learned so much, I think, over the course of the last 2 years, and even meeting some of our new producers and distribution partners, they've helped us grow as a TV show, not only for our audience, but as a production of Inside the Game each and every week. The way we had done it in the past versus how we do everything now. It's definitely seen some changes, and only for the better, I think, in my eyes, is looking forward and seeing where we're going now. But to see us right there, dude, we like blinked and came right back on. I would have called that in a second now. Like, but you guys wouldn't do that now either, right? Like, it's just yeah, it's so funny to watch some of our early episodes to see even how we look. Because I remember Nate coming in times with his beard's like this thick.
Oh man,
right? And it's just Corey comes in, his beard's this thick, and then we do Game On. Corey loses his beard. That was such a highlight. It was so priceless.
Maybe a low light. It was a low light.
It was low for Corey, but it was so funny. I remember you came in the following week and went, yo, dude, baby face, right?
Yeah,
You're so smooth.
nothing.
You're like, I haven't shaved since high school.
It was so much fun. And that's what I said. Looking forward now, we're moving into a new studio, right? The space we're about to get and the ability to things we're going to have the ability to do now as well is very exciting for the future of what I think we can produce now. And looking back at some of this stuff is just priceless to see where we've come and where we're heading. It's so cool.
Yeah.
We're giving away 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate thanks to our friends over at Microsoft. All you have to do to enter is hit us up on Twitter or Instagram with a follow and a comment with the hashtag Ultimate Game Pass and hashtag ITG100. We'll be announcing the winners on December 23rd. Some of the funniest moments come from behind the scenes. Things you don't normally see because we typically edit those out. Bloopers are some of the funniest moments in ITG history. Sometimes what you say isn't really what you meant. Check it out.
I feel like that is a bit of it's a drawback straight up. If you I shouldn't say straight up. I don't say that.
There's actually nothing wrong with saying I know what you're saying though, like just your conversation.
I said it and it caught me off.
It's too hood, straight up,
Straight up, bro.
Like, how do you say that?
All right, Nate, it's time to jump back in to the javelins.
I was going to say hell yeah. I was going to say hell yeah. I was so close.
Is that good? Or are we doing it again?
I don't know.
I think you should do it.
I can hear.
I really wanted to say hell yeah.
I'm looking this way, and all I hear is. And I was like, "What is that?"
Oh, great.
That's a great start.
Try this again.
Yeah.
You good? So the Division 2 is a good. How to? Nope.
It's a
Good game. That's a good blooper.
I edit this show. No. Yeah.
I have bought one set of armor that was in the store, which we'll get to later.
Yes, we will.
And it was actually the exact same thing as the beginning. I just had a strap on top of me. That was it. There was a strap and it was...
No, you can't.
Man, I didn't think of it until you looked at me like that.
I didn't know it, man. No, not really. They've added
Vinyl drops.
Yeah, so now in the stronghold caches.
The cachet, it's French.
Oh, of course.
That's fine. Bonjour. And blooper.
I couldn't do it, man. I guess I lost it. Outro, let's do an outro.
So that's my gameplay of PlayStation VR's Everybody's Golf in VR. Cool experience, hands-on is great time. The clubs feel good. The course is that Everybody's Golf feeling, right? It's that over-the-top kind of golf simulated with your balls are flying straight when you get the right clubs. But I've hooked my balls. Wait, man, that sounds so wrong. I said it. I couldn't do it.
Shots. Say shots. Shots instead of balls. I was like, oh no, we're in like football territory here. He stumbled over the first hurdle. Second,
I'm like, okay,
the first.
I'll let it go, and then no, I couldn't do it.
I can't stop thinking about balls.
You are now hooked. What are you gonna score this one?
So since it's been a long time,
All right, Corey, it's time to suit up. Go get your javelin.
do it again.
Oh, come on, that was so good.
Okay.
Turn your mic off. No,
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
I was here thinking.
Okay. You good?
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead creators, Turtle. Oh, is it Turtle Rock? I was gonna say Turtle Beach.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
All right, Nate. So this is the first for the show.
Sorry, he said you were gonna throw it to me, so I was like, I was just about to start talking.
Oh no, I gotta do my to throw
You're
it.
gonna have something to throw to you.
I gotta. Okay, Nate.
I was like,
The only one that. How am I supposed to do that?
so the former head of Nintendo I'm getting a drink. That's it.
We're giving away another code thanks to our friends over at Ubisoft. We're giving away Immortals Phoenix Rising over on the PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5. All you have to do to enter is hit us up on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you follow and leave a comment with 2 hashtags. Hashtag ITG100 and hashtag Immortals Phoenix Rising. We'll be announcing the winner on December 23rd. Good luck. It's been an incredible journey so far. 100 episodes in is one heck of a milestone. We want to thank all of you once again. We couldn't have done it without you. And here's to the next 100 episodes. Now, of course, you can always end off our show just like But I'm Not a Gamer did, as he hooked us up in Discord, where there he submitted his clip to be the clip of the week. Sometimes you just gotta do it yourself. Check it out. And again, thank you. We'll see you next week inside the game.
Got him on the ropes. Don't let your guard down.